shortcuts. I see that most of you have several issues with your shortcuts. So I tried to fix this, and the solution that I found is the next one. I'm gonna put you a PowerPoint with the things. Then I will try to send to you, and for the people that they are not here now. So if you are okay, let's gonna start with this. Okay. So, a ver, que me dio al final. I know that there is a problem with the shortcuts Mac, the Apple thing, because most of you don't see where you can find the shortcuts. So to find the shortcuts in a Mac, you have to go to the My Projects, then press the key, and then the little book, okay? If you do this, normally it will send you to this page. And we have here a PDF of Mac shortcuts. The Mac shortcuts are this. It's a little bit different with the Windows shortcuts, but I hope that you will find useful. It's very important to use the shortcuts. It helps very much. It makes easier the transcription, faster the transcription. So I highly recommend you use the shortcuts and learn the shortcuts. At the beginning, it's a little bit difficult because there's so many information, but probably in a week or two, you will memorize very easily because there are few of them. So another problem that I find with the shortcuts, it's many people with Windows can't use the shortcuts. So I think maybe it's because the Swedish shortcuts are keyboard are different. So I find this solution in Control Shift plus A. You have a different A. We in a Spanish keyboard we don't have this A. So maybe is one of the problems, and we don't have either the other. So maybe with this you will able to do the shortcuts well. If you still have problems with that, please contact me and I'll try to fix another way. I don't know if it's any doubts for now. I don't see any doubts. Okay. So these shortcuts, it's for the margins. I'll explain this a little bit later. Okay. So later I will explain, don't worry. Then, okay.
Just
Yes. Uy, se me ha ido, perdón.
hi, I don't know if you can hear me. Hello, guys. I guess so. I'm saying that hello, nice to see you all. Those two works, I tried them today. So, okay, thank you, Anne, for confirming. So apparently that the shortcuts that you have found, they are working. And one more thing is, for example, if you see that maybe some of you have tried before some shortcuts and you know the combination, you can share it also to Jaime.
Yes, it will be.
Yeah, it can be like really useful for all the team. So we can share the maximum shortcuts that we can have in the Swedish keyboard. So we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, it would be nice. So thank you all. Well, the next thing is I've heard in a meeting this morning that there is a problem with Swedish and English words. I mean, it seems like in several audios we have gamers talking with gamers speech. So maybe the possible words that you may hear, it's knob, GG, omnet, I don't know how to spell it. This kind of words, you should transcribe it. Why? Because there's a rule in the client guidelines that specifies that the use of English phrases and expression in daily Swedish has become increasingly common. Okay, these words, I know that there's no a proper grammar mode to transcribe it. So what I recommend, if you find any of these words, search in Google, the first, and for example, knob. If you search knob and there's the word, you should transcribe as you see in Google Chrome. Okay, I know many of the words they are not really exist in the typical grammar situation, but you have to transcribe it because probably they will appear a lot. Okay, so in this kind of cases, please transcribe it. If you have any doubts about that, please contact me and I'll make a list or something like that, because it's very useful to have a list of words and the most correct form to transcribe it. Okay, as I say, this rule is based in the client guidelines, which I recommend you to read, because I think it's the same thing, like since the use of English phrases and expressions, etc. I think it's the same thing, so you should transcribe it. Okay? Any doubts? I cannot puedo ver eso.
Okay. So we have here SZ, you shared some confirming the shortcut, so thank you so much. And then we have AW, so if there are known words or slangs, we should transcribe it. Yes, in this case. Yeah, and we have a lot of slangs in Sweden because after all, these slangs are like really common use. So you use them in your daily life, so everyone can actually understand these words.
Yes, so you have
they have to be transcribed.
Yes.
And also, what we probably usually do is, as Jaime said, you have to do the web search to see like the common way to transcribe these words. And if you have any doubts, or maybe you don't have any valid result of your web research, maybe you can like try to put the word as it sounds phonetically.
Yes.
And then we can, with the time, we can make a list of these words and we can share it to the whole team. So we have to just to try to find a common way to transcribe these words.
Yes, I think that a list is very useful. So if we could make it, it would be perfect for this kind of projects. And well, the slang words or something like that, you have to transcribe. Yes, I think it's very common in Sweden. So please, yes, you have to transcribe.
Okay, and we have more things, yeah, because some people speak 70% slang. Yeah, I can imagine, especially with this kind of audios, like gaming audios, there's a lot of slang. So we'll try to transcribe it, like transcribe as much as we can, okay, from the speech.
Yes, if you could please send me a list of slang words that you find in the audios, it would be perfect, because with this I can do a list, okay, and send to you, and in that way we probably it's gonna be better and faster with a list. Okay, so any word that you find, that slang word or gaming word or something like that, please send to me. Okay, I will find the word and I will make a list with this word.
Okay, and when one more comment from SC said only if it's 3 words or less. I believe Albert said it's more than 3 words, it's foreign speech. Okay, now we are talking about, okay.
No.
Okay, sorry. No, it's like now we are talking about foreign speech, and it's correct, because if it's like some words like placed in the middle of the sentences, so we have like all the sentences in Swedish, but only like few words, like a little bit placed, like a little bit everywhere. So there's no issue with that. You can transcribe, but it's true that as you say, if they're like a whole sentence, if it's like a whole sentence or a whole speech, it's better to cut this part of the speech, label it as foreign speech. So it's correct. And then there's some comments in Swedish that I can help you with.
Well,
then I guess that this is like some slangs. I only understood Habibi, so okay.
Okay, true.
Yeah, this one I could only understand this one. But okay, let's if these are like some examples, you can share them with us, and we can like make a small list of like very common slangs, yes, or this kind of words, so you can have it.
Better email me with that.
Yes.
Okay. Next thing, 0.5 seconds pause. I find a little bit problem with this. Most people didn't realize that they have to split the audio in two when it's a pause of 0.5 seconds. So in the client guidelines, they say that speaker turns should not contain pauses in a speech that are longer than 0.5 seconds. If a speaker does pause their speech for 0.5 seconds, and the speaker turn before the pause, then create a new turn for when the speaker resumes talking. So in the pictures that you see, the first one is correct. I mean, the person split the audio in two because there is a pause of 0.5. The second example, no. And you can see for the lines below, there are more than 0.5 seconds. Every line is 0.1. Okay, so you have to be careful with that. It's a common mistake, but it's a really easy to fix mistake. Okay, there are shortcuts for that. If you want to measure the 0.5, you can use Control plus comma or Control plus full stop, and the line will move 0.5 seconds. This is a good way to see if a speaker has a pause of 0.5 second, less or more. Be careful with less, because I saw audios too that there are less than 0.5 seconds, and this is not a pause. You don't have to split. You only have to split 0.5 from, but not less. Okay? If you have any doubts.
Yeah, well explained. So the pause should be longer than 0.5. So sometimes if you measure and you see that it's exactly 0.5, in that case, you can continue in the same segment. So all these pauses should be longer than 0.5.
Yes.
And use the shortcuts because it's like more accurate for you to know if you have to split or no.
It's easier. You can see these lines up below the wave, but I think it is more very faster.
Yes,
yes.
So, yeah, we have LC also talking about like adding comment. I had an audio where it was 0.5 second pause, but after adding margins, it was less than 0.5. Should I check before or after adding margins?
Okay, this is a common mistake to ignore the margins. It's not a thing. Yeah. So you have to do the 0.1 margins, but the 0.1 margins don't count as the 0.5 seconds pause. You have to do it, but you have to pay attention to the speech, not the segment in that case.
Yes. Yeah, so the extra margins don't count with the 0.5. Exactly. So first of all, we check, and then we split if we have to split. And then after that, at the end, we can add the extra margins.
Exactly.
So if he is interrupted, we don't need to split it.
I need more explanation of that.
No, I know maybe he's talking about if they are two speakers talking at the same time. Yeah, this is also a common mistake because if we have two speakers talking at the same time, we have to respect if each speaker's poses. Okay, so if I'm talking and then Jaime interrupts me, and I made the pose longer than 0.5, you have to split my segment. You don't have to continue in the same segment. So even if the speakers are overlapping, we have to respect these poses. Okay, maybe sometimes it's kind of a little bit difficult, but then you will mechanize it. Okay, so it's for speaker two, when you create the speakers two segment, and then I talk and he poses his speech for more than half a second. So you have to split his segment also. So you have to respect for every speaker, we have to respect the rule for 0.5 seconds, the
Yes,
poses. I don't know, AW, if it's what you meant with your question. If it's not, please let us know. Yeah, if he doesn't interrupt for longer than 0.5, yeah, of course, you can continue your segment. There is no issue. Yes. And with minor words, I mean like yes, good, although, can you, in bold short interruptions like this. Okay, about these kind of interruptions, so you are transcribing like the main speech, and then we have the other one like the saying yes, okay. You have to create the speaker segments for these words like speaker two, and you have to transcribe these words.
yes,
Yes.
yes. No, the other speakers
No,
in
in
the
the
same
same
segment. No,
sentence, no.
it's a separate segment.
Yes. Yeah, because there are two different speakers. Yeah.
Okay, let's with the margin problems. I saw too that there is a problem with the 0.1 margin. Why? Because most of you forgot to add at the end or at the start of the segments the 0.1 margins. So be careful with that, because I know that it's a lot of segments, a lot of margins, and probably one or two will be forget. Okay, but I highly recommend you that be careful, and when you start to do a segment, you have to add the first thing, add the 0.1 at the end and at the start. Why? Because, for example, here in the example that I put you, it lacks of 0.1 margin. And in many cases that I saw, it's too long too. So the perfect thing is have the correct picture. It's one line, okay? The lines below, it's one line. How can we make sure of that? With shortcuts, mostly. You have here the PC shortcuts, not the laptop shortcuts. I have to find this. And the Mac shortcuts, okay? You have to put, if you do this shortcut, they will have 0.1 of margin. So with that, you have the margin correct, okay? You just have to put the line in at the beginning of the speaker's speech, and then doing the shortcut, and that's all. It's the only thing you have to do, and it's very quick. And with shortcuts, very easy, because it's an exactly thing. It's not, you don't have to do anything more. Okay. Then we have another problem, that it's the noise problem. I see some of you not create the noise segment. The first thing you have to do when you start an audio is create the noise segment. For example, here. Here in the second example, we have all covered by noise. Why is that? We create a segment and take it to the beginning because we have an arrangement with the client that allows us to cover the entire audio with a segment that it's targeted by noise. It's easier for us because that way we don't have to create 1,000 segments with every noise we hear. So there is a easy way to to do this segment, it's well, we create a new segment, tag with label noise, and then we press home, because if we press home in the keyboard, we are going to the beginning of the audio. Then we have to use the shortcut Control Shift plus comma, if I remember well, and then the segment will go at the beginning of the audio. And with end and Control Shift point full stop, we do the segment at the end of the audio. I mean, I want to explain better, so let me a second. A ver. Que quiero compartir otra ventana, se puede, ¿no?
Tienes que dejar de compartir esta
Vale.
y compartirla lo que quieras también, porque no ha sido todas las ventanas. No sé, pues
Sí.
bueno, vete al chat, bueno, al esto del evento, dejar de compartir y vuelves a compartir otra vez. Okay, in the meantime, Am is asking, is background music like in bar considered noise or music? If you hear clearly music, you have to add the music tag also. So you put the noise for the full duration of the audio. And then if you hear music on the background, so you have to add a music tag for this this part of the audio.
Vale. So to create the noise segment, we have to create a new segment with Control S, okay? Then with Control L, we label it and we choose noise. Okay, then we can, for example, with this, it's better with the arrows. So here we go to start, okay? And then we use the shortcuts, Control Shift, comma, and then the segment will go at the beginning of the audio. And then we go to the end and do the same thing, Control Shift plus full stop. And then we have covered all the audio with a segment called noise. That's the only thing we have to do with the segment noise, okay? I know there's people that don't understand, but well, with this, I think it's too easy to do. Okay.
Just related to that, Am is saying that, and can the music tag be longer than 30 seconds? Yes, or because we have in the tags list, we have tags that we call like background tags, like noise, music, ringtone, the other one, the DTMFs. So these background tags can be longer, perfectly can be longer than 30 seconds, because sometimes maybe you're going to transcribe an audio where you can hear music on the background for also the full duration of the audio. So in that case, you just create one music tag also for all the duration of the audio, all right? And then we have what we call these tags related to a speaker segment, like foreign speech, PIIs, unintelligible, the other one, los insultos, offensive speech. This one, for these ones, that can be like, that should be always related to a speaker. For these ones, we have to respect the 30 seconds, because after all, they are like associated to a speaker, and with the speaker segments, we cannot have the segments longer than 30 seconds, all right? But with the background tags, you can go as far as the music lasts in your audio, or the ringtone, or whatever.
Exactly. But there's that.
Okay, so if it contains background noise or anything, then we sample the whole project as noise. It's not if it contains, you have always to put this noise tag in all the audios that you're going to transcribe. Okay, it's like the first step that you have to do before you start transcribing. like commercials, etc., or screaming in the background. If we hear this in one segment, do we submit the whole segment as noise? Yeah, the screaming is noise, all right? So it's not something that you can transcribe, like crying, screaming, or maybe
Yes,
animal sounds or whatever.
but not a commercial.
No, no, this is the second part. No, I'm just talking about the noises. The commercials, no, yeah, right.
The
Okay,
commercial,
so
you should have to transcribe it all. If the commercial, for example, it's music and a man talking about whatever, you have to create a speaker one that is the man and the background segment that is music. So a commercial, you should have to transcribe it all.
yeah, the sounds that we hear from TV or radio, even if they are commercials, but if we have speech in there, we have to create the speaker segment and transcribe what we hear from the commercial.
So,
Yes.
well, we're going to continue. There is a transcription problem. There's no so much mistake in that part, but I have to explain a little things, okay? You should have careful with this kind of things. I mean, most people didn't realize when they are transcribing that they left a space before and after the transcription. So it's here in the beginning and at the end. So you have to be careful with that, okay? It's a very common mistake and a very dangerous one because we don't realize that we are making that mistake so many times. So please be careful with that. I've seen a lot of transcription bugs with that. So it's just be careful. It's not hard mistake, but be careful. Then transcribe the word correctly. If a speaker shouts and says small coffee, okay, but you have to transcribe it as small.
Yes.
Okay,
this is very common.
Yes, it's very common.
The beginning.
Yes, you have to use the grammar rules of your language. So if the word small is small, like small, you can't write it different just because the speaker says it in other way, small or no. You have to transcribe it as the grammar rules says.
Correct. In the transcription box, we always respect the correct spelling of the words and transcribe them as they exist in the dictionary. Yes. And should we add commas, full stops, and question marks, etc., in our transcription?
Yes, yeah, you should. You should read the client guidelines for that because in the client guidelines there are a whole section talking about commas, full stops, etc. There's a full section. If you want, I'll send to you and you'll have it in Sigma Connect.
Yes. That we use and usually use in your language.
Yes, you should be careful with the commas because there's commas that there's don't need to put. Is that why I recommend you to read the client guidelines because there's mostly commas that in our common way to write we use, but in the client guidelines they are not forbidden but not recommended.
In Google Translate for some comments I see here in Swedish. All right, so just to clarify a thing, if the speaker says small like this, it's a word that should be transcribed. We understand, we know what he's saying. So in this case, we have to create the segment and transcribe the word small. But the thing is, since we have to respect the correct spelling of the words, we cannot put small with multiple A's in the middle because it's not how it exists actually in the dictionary, okay? So we just put small. Now, if the speaker says that, it's that there's no word, there's no speech, in that case, this is noise, okay? Because it's just screaming. Yes. Or the coughing, for example, like,
This is nice.
So this is something that we cannot actually transcribe. So this is the noise, all right? So it doesn't mean that if he says small, it doesn't mean that it's noise. Even if he's screaming, but still it's a word that we can understand.
Yes.
All right? I don't know if I clarified this point.
About the John question, if a speaker repeats a word, it's a limit. I think it's a limit of 5. No, this is a sarcasm.
No, this
No.
Where are you seeing the question?
We don't. This is in the client guidelines. Let me check because I totally forgot. But it's a good question.
With the repetition, we transcribe everything in.
Yeah, we transcribe everything, but I don't remember if we use commas or we use spaces.
No, it's just
spaces.
If I say I'm going to the beach. So this two, I just have to put 2 space 2. We do not separate with commas. With commas, we separate only lists. Okay, if we are talking about lists, we use the commas. But if it's just repetition, just space, and that's it.
Sí, lo contrario, pero no. Okay, let me check and I will send to you because I don't remember well.
Okay. Do you use commas, bonds, or nothing? Okay, we already answered that.
Okay.
Okay. More things.
Do you have any doubts, Jamie?
Correct. Yes. Your comment, yes, in Swedish, correct, about the noise tag. So if we add already the noise tag for the full duration of the audio, if we hear screaming or coughing in the middle, we don't have to add another noise tag. And the platform won't let you actually put another like overlap tags of the same type.
No, about the IM answer, we call it speaker 1. We only accept names.
Yes, we do not. Yeah, we
Yeah, speaker button. No.
Identify by the names using
Yes.
names. And about comment of Z, he said something about the noise tag. I used Google Translate for that, so I don't know if it's like really accurate if it's exactly what you have said. We use, even if when we start listening to the audio and we see that maybe it's not that noisy, we have always to put this noise tag because it's not just for big noises that we have to use this tag. So even if for the small, very small noises, or maybe the noises that usually the speakers make when they are talking, like clicking the tongue or something. So these little noises should be also covered with the noise tag. So it's not only for the big noises. Okay, how do we write the word ouch in the beginning of sentences when it's pronounced? Oh.
If you have a word that means ouch, you have to transcribe ouch. But I think that you are referring to filler words. So you have a list of filler words in the client guidelines because there are filler words like ouch or or these kind of words. You have to transcribe it as, for example, A8, for example. Okay, there's a section in the client guidelines that explains you very well. Yes.
Saying like, oh.
No, or yes, stuff like that.
Or, yeah, these are filler words. You have like in the guidance it's explained, and then we can also make list of the common
Yes.
words in your language, because
Yes.
it can be different from a language
Yes,
to
and
another.
it's so short, the
Yes.
Finland ones in the Client Islands. So yes. Always slang for ouch and is sort of a version of and. So okay. I mean, ouch is an accepted word grammatically, or is a shortened version of an.
SC is saying that O is slang for ouch. It's a shortened version of and. Should it not be typed O? I think guidelines say that.
It depends. It depends. Ouch don't exist as far as I understand. So let me search, because
Yeah.
if the
Right.
word exists in sort of way, we may transcribe it as ouch, not as o. But let me search and I'll tell you.
Okay, now, yeah, it's ouch means and.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not like ouch as filler word. It's like means and, but people pronounce it O. It's like a difference. There is a difference between pronunciation and changing the word. Okay, so if it's just the pronunciation of when you write OCH, you pronounce O, so you can transcribe the word as it exists, because people, they are going to pronunciate it as O after all, even if it's written the correct way. I guess it's like I don't know.
For now, yes, write ouch, because I think it's better than the O alone. So yeah, but I'll search, okay, and I'll tell you as soon as I can.
Yeah. Es como se dice
Claro.
Callao, pero es callado.
Claro. No, pero ahí claro se junta, claro, todo. We are talking about in Spain, we have yes,
in Spanish.
we have several words like that, and we transcribe it as grammatically correct.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, the word is callado, but we say callao, but we transcribe it as callado. So maybe it's the same thing. What is?
Should we choose NSW? So now we are completely lost.
Yes, we don't know what is that.
AW, and if it's in another language, what should we do? AO, can you just clarify for us, please, what is NSFW?
And if it's in another language, that we should do. If it's in another language, you should tag it as not safe for work. Therefore, okay, yeah, you should transcribe it. Yes. Yes, you should transcribe it. Okay, if you feel so offended with that word that you could even hear it, you can tag it as offensive speech. But the normal thing is you should transcribe, because we are grown up persons.
Yeah, about this point, what we usually say that because take into account that if you have to mark something as offensive speech, you have to split your segment, isolate this part of the speech, and you have to transcribe it after all. It's not like the transcription box is not, it's blocked and you cannot transcribe. The thing is, if there are like words maybe that commonly we use them in our speech, and you know that by the context, this person is not actually offending anyone or insulting anyone, transcribe them, okay? Because it's like it's better for you, and it's less work for you also than you have to split and then transcribe and everything, okay?
Yes.
But if it's something that you hear from the audio and it's something that can make you feel uncomfortable, or maybe you know from the context that actually this person is offending someone else, you can, in that case, you can use, of course, the
Mm.
offensive speech tag.
It's your choice. If some speaker makes a racist joke or dark humor, okay, it's your choice. For me, it's your choice. You, if you want to transcribe it, it's okay, and if it offends you a lot, it's
Yes.
okay.
And about the music, also, that it's music in the background that may contain some offensive speech. So you have to mark it as music after all. You don't have to transcribe.
Yep.
Okay, so it's gonna be music. Now, if it's the speaker himself who starts singing and he sings something with like offensive lyrics or whatever, in this case, you can use, if you consider that it's really offensive, you can use the offensive speech tag instead of the singing, just to mark to the machine that it's something offensive. Okay.
Okay, so we choose what we consider offensive speech, yes and no. If I see a segment marked as offensive speech and the offensive speech is one woman and one man kissing, it's gonna be a mistake. I think there's a frontier between the offensive speech and the non-offensive speech. I think it's common sense too. So if I see things like that, kissing, tagged as offensive speech, I will consider a mistake. Okay, dark humor. If you consider that it's offensive, okay, but my advice is that you should transcribe everything because, except for one or two reasons, I think the normal thing it's not so offensive. Okay, if you find any audio that you really feel offended by the audio, just send to me and I'll see and we can discuss about that. Okay.
Yes.
But I prefer that please don't tag anything as offensive speech.
Like everything that maybe you can hear.
Yes.
Simple. Yeah. And I guess that it's something also because in this point we have like more um how I say it, it's like we don't give a lot of maybe importance to this type of mistake because after all, I guess that it depends also in the culture, in the country,
Yes.
on the language, you know, because there are like some languages where we use a lot of words like bad words in general in Spain. Yeah, in Spain, every time we use like some bad words, yeah, in our speech. So it's not something that we consider as offensive because it's something that in the culture we use it. Okay.
Okay, the question of him, but can it ever be wrong not to use the level of offensive speech? No.
No.
No. You can not use the level of offensive speech ever. For example, I was transcribing in long form 2, and I never use that level, never, because it's not necessary. It's necessary if you consider that it's so offensive for you. So, for example, if in Sweden and Denmark you curse a lot, like in Spain, uh, you don't have to put a tag. It's absurd.
Yeah. Then there is also some limits, you know, like the intonation when the speaker is talking to another one. It's like I don't know if I don't have like any example. Like it's not if I'm talking to Jaime and I say like you're so stupid.
Oh, fuck yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's like okay, I put stupid, but maybe it's not the best example. But it's just like you're so stupid. Like we are talking normally, so it's not something that maybe he can offend Jaime because he knows that it's not. And I'm not saying it in that intonation, but maybe if we are like maybe having like another type of conversation, and I said to him like you are so stupid. It's like and that it's the intonation also can make you maybe decide if you have to choose this tag or not.
Exactly. So, do you have any doubts about this? or anything? Okay. Then for my part, it's okay. So I'll let you free.
Mhm.
See you the next okay. See you the next week. And if you have any doubt, will you look at? Yes, of course. Don't worry. Today, even tomorrow, you have the answer. Don't worry. Or no, not
Tomorrow,
Yes, of
Saturday.
course. Yes, I'm a workaholic.
Okay.
So see you next week. Every doubt, everything that you need, please contact me. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So have a nice weekend and goodbye.
Okay, bye. Thank
Bye.
you. Have a nice weekend. Nice to see you all.